All right, welcome back to Chapter 6, video number 13. We're going to have a look at how to pass uh, arguments by reference into our new methods and apply this to a concept for validating data. So when we look at the program that I've provided you guys, it's called bonus. And if you look at the bonus program here, it basically wants to calculate how much money that you guys should be saving. So let's say we put in, let's say we got $10,000 as our gross pay. We get a $1,000 bonus. We want to calculate our contribution, and our contribution means how much money should we be saving of that. That's our retirement contribution. That's money that we put away and we don't touch until we're ready to retire. So that's how the program is supposed to work. Now, when I click on this calculate the contributions, let's go in here and we're going to do a debug on this one. So I'm going to click and rerun that. And let's go back into bonus. So I'm going to use my $10,000 and $1,000 example to calculate. Now, right off the start, I declare my variables. We can see that there's some variables, and I also initialize the variables to values because they're all money. We're using decimal data types here. Makes sense. So that's good. Now we go down to the question. Now normally we have exception handling when we have inputs like this, but this case we're going to try something a bit different. If this is true, so what is that? Well, this part is a method that we're going to declare, and it has two arguments. It has an argument here called gross pay and one called bonus, and we want to basically check to see if gross pay and bonuses have been entered in as numbers, and we're going to pass them by reference. We're passing them by reference because we already have their values, so we can pass it by a ref. If we didn't have the value, we'd have to pass it by out, but we have it, so that's great. So as soon as I push F11, it drops me down through the debugger into here. So I've got my decimal gross pay and my decimal bonus, and they both get passed in here. So pay should equal, oh, well, I haven't even got my pay yet because I haven't entered in my values yet. So what I'm doing here is I'm checking to see if it's valid. So right off the start, I'm going to use this Boolean trigger or Boolean flag called input is good. And we're going to set it up by assuming by default people enter it in incorrectly. And then from there, we are going to now enter in our values. So here's where I typed in 1,000, and I'm going to output it to my pay variable and check to see if it's correct. Well, if it's correct, if we can convert this, which it is, I mean 10,000 is correct, I can parse that into a decimal, then now the flag becomes true. So that's good because I've got my pay is entered in correctly and my bonus amount is entered incorrectly. Both are entered correctly. That's great. I can return. It's all good. It says true. So all that was just to come up with this question that says, yes, if it's true, the data was entered in valid. Let's go ahead and do the calculation. And this is the simple calculation that we use to calculate pension based on your net and your bonus amounts for salary, and then output it to currency, and that will give you the result right here, $555 based on the calculation right there. So the point of this program is really to go through and show you how we can use a method here, and by passing by ref here, to validate data using a flag to say whether the data was entered in as good or not. So if the input was good, then proceed. If it's not, well, if it's not, then it would throw out an else. It would say, well, either the bonus was invalid or the gross pay was invalid, and it wouldn't work. All right, so I hope that kind of makes some sense in how it was constructed. It was a way of using methods to validate the input. So we can use methods to validate inputs. All right, we'll see you in the next video.